Hey guys, it's Misty. It is the second installment of Open Mic with Misty, and today I have an email that I have written. And what I wanted to kind of talk about today was um, writing from your heart. So basically, writing things that aren't really hyper salesy. You're not really writing things that are super, product focused. You're not really writing about hard sales lessons and how to do business and literal thinking and all that kind of stuff. You sometimes have to write from days gone by, so memories that you have, or sort of things that have happened to you, or names that you've been called, or periods of time in your life where you just didn't have your shit together. Sometimes you need to kind of lay it all out on the table for your customer so they can understand that you're actually a real human being, to understand that you make mistakes, to understand that you're successful regardless of all the shit that went wrong in your life, regardless of all the stuff that you did wrong. Okay, so today's email is actually called the Queen of Ass Backwards, and the reason I wrote about this is because as a human being, as an individual, I tend to do things emotionally based. So I know myself well enough that if I want to get on with a project, if I want to do something, it's usually based around emotional wanting and longing rather than a literal progression, right? So, and I'm not saying that I'm not literal. Like a lot of the coaching that I do for my clients there's a lot of literal progression in there, but when I want to do something, I'll just fucking do it, and I'll figure it out as we go. And I think that's the mark of an entrepreneur, right? We will jump off a mountain and learn to fly on the way down, whereas most other people would figure out a set of wings or an engine or something before they even got close to the mountain edge. But as entrepreneurs, we just do, and then we figure it out as we go. And so that's why I got the nickname, the Queen of Ass Backwards. I got this nickname many, many years ago when I was doing fitness mentoring. This is probably about 8 years ago. I was in a big fitness mastermind, and that's what they called me, because I would just do shit. As everybody else was sitting there and counting their pennies and, figuring out the best way forward, I was like, fuck it, we'll just do it and then figure it out. And I think it's a really good trait to have, as long as you don't mind being stressed, because it does cause a little bit of stress. So if you're not really attuned with stress, then maybe just figure out your ducks before you get going. But for other people, if you're like me and you just like figuring your shit out as you go, this email might work for you. Okay, this is called the Queen of Ass Backwards, and I'll talk a little bit more about it after I'm done reading. Okay, so the email subject line, the Queen of Ass Backwards. The opening line: years of coaching behind us, and we all tackle shit backwards. I've been coached as long as I have owned a brick and mortar company. I realized early on that I need a firm hand when it comes to business. I need to be kept focused. I need to be accountable, and I need a tribe of people that get me. And so over the years, I have mentored with fitness business coaches, email copywriting coaches, and even meditation and law of attraction coaches. Yep, I have a woo side too. Anyway, my first studio was 400 square feet. And after 9 months of coaching, I was generating myself $18,000 a month in profit. I became quite the star of my little coaching crew, and they, quite rightly, made me their golden child. I spoke at their conferences, and I was nominated for prestigious awards. But even with all the accolades they adorned me with, they still couldn't get around my inherent trait of tackling everything ass backwards. My title was literally the Queen of Ass Backwards. But the thing is, what these over-engineered thinkers just didn't understand about me was that I am a doer, not a procrastinator. I don't overconsume knowledge before acting. I don't wait for the data to come in. I don't even want to know what the biggest and best gurus are doing, because guess what? Too much of anything is a bad thing. I'm not scared of much, which makes it really easy for me to slash away at the minutiae, make a plan, and set forth on my mission. When I work with clients, I can quickly slice out the overthought ideas and swiftly clean up their brain vomit to provide them with common sense, a properly scaled and perfectly profitable plan. And for some people, my sheer inconsideration of things like deep dive surveys is mind-boggling. They simply can't understand how I have so much success without a mountain of empirical data to support my actions? Well, it's easy. I have utter confidence in my business planning and my copywriting approach. I always have a mentor to steer me, and years of experience in just getting shit done and building six-figure companies in mere months has shown me that action beats analytics every goddamn time. Ask any one of my one-on-one clients about their coaching success during the first week of coaching. They all got more done in that first week than they had in the last month or year in some cases. So look, if you are a chronic consumer who would rather hide behind the guise of learning more than actually getting shit done, it's time you had a good, hard look at what you really want to do. Because if you want to hide in books for the rest of your entrepreneurial career, you might as well go get a real job. If, however, you want to jump into the scene with a fully fledged business in 12 weeks or less, you need me to push you into the spotlight. And if you want to use my business building brains and copywriting wizardry, then please do us all a favor and grab a one-on-one coaching spot. I have 1 or 2 left starting next week, and I can squeeze you in during a daytime. Your one-on-one coaching experience is 12 weeks, and many stay longer. And it would whip your email marketing strategy into place. The one thing every single successful business has is good copy. So it makes sense to learn this crucial skill. Hit me up here if you want to grab that last spot, www.mistyrhn.shop. More tomorrow, MistyRHN. Okay, so that email is basically discussing the merits of going after what it is you want to do and just doing it. And then also making sure that even if you're a bit of an ass backwards sort of doer like me, even if you're that kind of individual, you still have someone to help steer you in the right direction. All right. So, and that's obviously, as we go into the call to action, you can see how I parlay this, this thought of just getting shit done into getting shit done, but with a mentor, obviously me, obviously as your one-on-one coach. Okay. So that's kind of where I'm going with the email. So no matter what you're talking about in your email, you have to parlay it into your product at the end. And so I've taken what some would consider, a very, very different approach to business building, which is ass backwards, and then combined it with a very logical business building idea, which is getting a coach. All right. So even if you've got a concept that's way at the other end of the spectrum as to the product that you sell, you can still create the call to action to merge with what it is that you want to sell. Okay. Even though it seems like it's completely offside, you can still merge it into the product that you sell. Now, your call to action, which is where you do the merging of this story concept. So you have this concept, and then you have this, the part where you're going to sell. So you talk, story, and then you segue it into this call to action, which is where you do the selling, which is a very important part. This call to action is the bane of many people's existence. It's really difficult to do a lot of times, and I get that it is quite hard. So making sure that you spend some time working on your call to action and getting this nice big story, this concept over here to kind of merge in with that nicely so it all fits together, that is worth its weight in gold. A lot of times I see emails which are like story, blah, 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 memory, bad thing happened to me, blah. And then over here, you've got call to action, which is completely separate. Like these guys are they're like revolving around each other. They never come together. Okay. So they have this story and then they have this call to action, but they never actually meet. So part of the coaching that I do is helping you write this awesome story, be it about whatever, but then bring this call to action in and make them merge so it all flows seamlessly. So if there's one thing that I can impart on you today with this lesson is make sure that you are working on that call to action, that you spend as much time on the call to action as you did creating the actual email. The two should have the same amount of time spent on them. Okay. So you guys are more than welcome to hit me up with questions. If you're going to hit me up with questions, probably do it via Facebook. I don't really check the question section or blog section on YouTube too much just yet. If you're sending me a question, I might miss it. Otherwise, you can email me your question at www.writebetteremails.no. You can email me at writebetteremails@gmail.com. Okay, so writebetteremails@gmail.com if you have a specific question about that kind of stuff. Okie dokie. All right, I got to go. We're 9 minutes and 52 seconds. So that means my time is done. All right, more tomorrow. Bye.